Oh, somebody showed up.
Indeed.
Oh, how was your beauty nap?
I did okay. Came back a little wet. Started raining.
Oh, okay.
Think we're good though.
Alrighty then. Since you're here now, we are going to give you a question.
Alright.
Lily, what was a book that you decided to read because the movie was so good?
Alright, now this I have sort of a backhanded approach to answering because movies are never usually the reason I read a book. I always read a book first, and then if it got adapted into a movie, I'll watch it and usually be let down because...
I'm primarily the same way, and I think that a lot of times there are movies that are let down.
Movies don't capture what you love about reading because it's just your mind and the author's words, you know?
Much is true.
But in this unique case, there was actually something that was a movie first and then was such a success, it got adapted into a graphic novel. It's Princess Mononoke by Hayao Miyazaki.
Oh, amazing choice. Yes. Very good choice.
How good is that movie?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it.
Even my mom loves it. Like,
It's the best Miyazaki movie. No, it's not Spirited Away.
Oh, yeah, that's a hard choice. I couldn't choose just one.
Already. Anything else you want to say about it?
Should I give you the basic storyline?
Just something brief, a few seconds.
A prince gets put under a curse by a god of boars, and he has to decide whether to go into the woods and kill the spirit of the forest that's gonna cure his curse or not.
Oh, okay.
And he meets a girl who's been raised by wolves and is trying to drive the humans away from the forest, so he has sort of a split loyalty.
Manga is
Really
not
good.
necessarily an interest of mine, but that does sound like a good, strong story.
It's a very good
The
movie.
animation is amazing.
Most of his animation is.
Oh,
Fun fact, when they adapted it for English, Neil Gaiman wrote the English dialogue.
oh, I didn't know that. That's a good fun fact.
Another thing I like about that particular director is the fact that he sticks to traditional animation, and yet it's still
Beautiful.
beautiful. It's immensely. So, already the
Well, he
next.
started out doing watercolors.
That's why it's so beautiful.
Yeah, that helps indeed. The next question is going to Kelsey. A book with the worst movie adaptation you have ever seen.
Okay, this was very hard for me because I have seen a lot of movies that I liked as movies, but I didn't like it when I thought about it as an adaptation of a book. Or that I liked the movie, but I decided that, it wasn't the best because they left out a character, which is why I chose the first Hunger Games movie. I was extremely disappointed with because they left out the character that gives Katniss her pin, which takes a lot of the meaning away from the pin. So because of that reason alone,
Prim was the one that gave it to her
in the movie.
the movie, yes.
Yeah, but it's an entirely different character in the book, and there's a lot of meaning behind it, and it kind of just ruins it for me that they left that out, so I chose that one.
Yeah, I think I agree. Then again, Hollywood is doing the fact that they split up the final book in
It's
every
ridiculous.
adaptation just because
Yeah.
they need to build up and just because Harry Potter did that. So.
But Harry Potter, there was a reason behind that, whereas, Mockingjay could have been done in one movie and Catching Fire should have been in two. But
I
that
caught
It
fire
was a
once.
terrible book to begin with, Mockingjay. So.
I'm personally, unpopular opinion, I liked it, but,
What was it, Catching Fire?
What
Plus
kind-
the whole, another disappointment about that movie, if we're going to take a different lens to it, is the novel says Katniss is Latina and every considered actor was white.
well, isn't that always the case?
yeah, that's more of a social issue.
With
Yeah.
regard to the Hunger Games trilogy, what on a 5-star system, what would you give each one?
Each book, so I'm really into YA. It's like a special place in my heart. So I would probably give the first book a 4, the second one a 5, and the third one maybe a 3. Definitely. But the second one is the best because of the arena alone I loved. So.
For me, it's 5 stars for Hunger Games, the original, 3 stars for Catching Fire, 1 star for Mockingjay. And I just didn't really, I thought that with Catching Fire, Suzanne Collins was
Quick,
trying
I'll
to
put that
get,
out. Just kidding.
she was just trying to get over her, or she was overdoing herself.
Well, the thing is that I wouldn't say that The Hunger Games is the best dystopian series out now, anyways. So, but on its own, that's how I would rate it.
Well, it's basically let's adapt Battle Royale, but make it more for young adults.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's definitely that connection there.
Do we want to move on to question 9? It's for Charlie.
Yay!
A book you think might get non-readers into reading?
Oh, we just discussed some of it, especially The Hunger Games. I think that would be good.
Even if you didn't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I read The Hunger Games, and I thought it was pretty good. I also think Tolkien's the Lord of the Rings trilogy, I think that would also...
Oh, Lord of the Rings is fantastic, but
Yeah. I only read the first book, and still I'm like, wow, this guy, he's, you know... I think he made up his own words, some of them.
yeah,
And
he invented Elvish,
words, which,
the
yeah,
language
he invented a whole language. You know, my language I invented is... Yeah, I'm not going down that road, but anyway, I think that too, and of course Harry Potter. Harry Potter got me into reading as well.
You got most people in reading.
I did, yeah.
Anytime, when I go on BookTube and watch people's introductions, there's usually a question, book or series that got them into reading.
Yeah.
Most of them say Harry
Harry
Potter.
Potter. And also, I don't know if we know this, but in Orlando they opened, I think it's the 1 year anniversary, they have the,
I think it might be 2 years.
oh, 2 years? Really?
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah,
I
they
feel
did.
silly.
They made the expansion.
Already. 10th question, 10th and final question, is the book that you decided to read because you saw a lot of good comments on YouTube. I took the question. I'm the most active on BookTube. Hopefully everybody else becomes a bit more active. But probably the one that I can thank BookTube for, even though I'm not really, I usually dance to my own tune, is East of Eden by John Steinbeck.
Oh, so good.
Absolutely amazing.
Part of it is, another part of it was other members of the Gladiator family that egged me on to do so. But I think that it was a good decision on behalf of both the Gladiator family and BookTube, because I read East of Eden.
I wonder if there's a West of Eden.
It is, but East of Eden, it's a biblical term because
Yeah, it's a Bible
when
reference.
Cain killed Abel, he was sent East of Eden, and he had to wander for the rest of his life, spending it in limbo. But yeah, it's a retelling of the Book of Genesis, but it primarily concentrates on Cain and Abel through the sibling relationships of Charles and Adam, but more so Cal and Aaron, and I really like Lee as well. He was probably my favorite character. He was really cute. But we're going to be having an East of Eden discussion in a few months during the 4th season, so I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to show all my cards. I think Larry's going to be excited too, but that's pretty much everything, and now it's time for me to tag 5 people to participate in this tag as well. So I choose, yeah, I made the selections earlier. Brandon from Books and Beer. Jen.
Books and Beer?
Yep, that's the name of his channel. He did the cheese book tag as well.
Okay.
Jen from Word Nerd. Shannon from Shannon Rose Reads. Melissa from the Bookish Babbler, and Anna and or Camilla from Our Bookish Obsession. Hope you check out our book tag, and we hope that you participate as well. You'll have a fun time doing it.
Like and subscribe.
Alrighty. Join us next time and keep reading.